Dear Uncle Ben, can you come up with a hybrid-picked E minor pentatonic shred lick that descends down the neck so that I can practice it and earn back the respect of my stepdad? Yes, and so can you. Hey there kids, it's your good buddy, Uncle Ben Eller, and this week's lick comes to you guys by request from a loyal and lovely member of my Patreon community over at patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. Head on over there and sign up today, and the very next lick request could be yours. Or your stepmom, she never quits asking. That's also where you're going to get the downloadable tabs, practice tracks, and MIDI files to go along with it to build your own perfect practice session and become the next Shred-Eye Knight, so don't delay. Sign up today. Today's lick is a fun one that I came up with to give you guys some ideas about incorporating some different techniques and sequencing ideas into our good buddy, the minor gin and tonic scale. Now it doesn't use the typical 12th position box, it kind of moves down the neck in segments, and it uses some hybrid picking over here. So I'm going to show you guys the lick, then give you some tips and tricks to help you get it down fast. Gear-wise for today's video, I'm playing my lovely Jackson Virtuoso here into the Bad Cat Hot Cat. Got that running into the UA aux as usual. Yeah, let's hear that lick again at Stepdad speed. Okay, so this lick is based around the E minor pentatonic scale. It's important to notice that that doesn't mean it's just based around this shape, but rather the notes E, G, A, B, D, E appearing anywhere across the neck. So as we learn this lick and move it across the neck, we're not necessarily going to be staying inside of that shape that you probably learned first, but we are staying inside of the notes of the scale. I think of this as being divided into 4 different segments. Here's how the first one sounds. Kind of the typical descending threes minor pentatonic thing we've heard Kirk Hammett do since Jesus was riding dinosaurs, right? Now I want you to think about it as being based around this shape right here. And inside of that shape, what you're doing is walking down 3 notes, then going back a note and walking down 3 notes. Go back a note, go back a note. That's the idea. But we're not going to alternate pick it like that. We're going to use a combination of legato, alternate picking, and hybrid picking. It's going to give it a really dynamic sound and make it a lot easier to play. The pattern I'm using is like this right here. We're going to do a downstroke and a pull-off, a downstroke, and then a hybrid picked note whenever we go back to the high E string. So it's down, pull, down, hybrid so far. After that, cap this off with a down, up to complete that phrase. So down, pull, down, hybrid, down, up. The way I think about incorporating the hybrid picking is that after my pick has left a string, like how it left the high E string right there, it's never going to go back again. That would be kind of difficult and probably slow me down. Instead, I'm going to make my middle finger do the dirty work and return back to that high E string for the single note like that. That goes for the next part of the lick too. Down, pull, down, hybrid, down, up. After that, we're going to shift down to this scale position and execute the same idea. Down, pull, down, hybrid, down, up. Down, pull, down, hybrid, down, up. So we went from the first shape to the second shape. One of the ways I'm connecting these scale fragments is to look at the lowest note on the second string of the lick. Okay, so in other words, there for the first lick, right? I know that that's where the next lick I'm going to play is going to start. So keep that A note right there in mind. That becomes a starting point for the next lick. So with that same idea in mind, that's going to be the starting point for the next lick that we're going to play. This pattern's a little different. It's going to have this kind of longer stretch, and then the nice boxy shapes on the next two strings. Okay, here's how it's going to sound. And again, using the logic that we already talked about, that's where the next lick is going to start off with. It's going to sound like this. So we're going to have two of those long stretchy shapes, and then the nice little whole step shape on the low E string. Same idea. And then just resolve here on E for the last note of the run. So you have your first lick, second, third, and fourth lick. Now that you've learned that pattern, you could also adapt that to any of your typical minor pentatonic shapes that you already know, and just walk it straight down the scale. It's a really cool sound, and I think it's easier than trying to pick all of it. And I like the dynamic of some of the different sonic textures you get from those techniques being used together, because you got the softer sound of the pull-off, the nice pluck of the hybrid picking, and then the really rigid alternate pick sound all in one sequence. And keep in mind, you don't have to play that straight down the scale or anything. You can double back or loop fragments of that for a pretty cool sound in your solos. Now, one thing that I always want to point out about hybrid picking is the way that my actual pick attack changes whenever I'm using that technique in a lick. Now, typically whenever I'm like alternate picking stuff, my picking motion is very much from the wrist and sometimes from the elbow a little bit. But that's not typically how I move the pick whenever I'm doing a hybrid picked lick. And that's because whenever the hand is moving side to side like this, that means your middle finger is also moving up and down, right? That means it's going to be really hard to reliably hit that same string that you're looking for over and over when you're dealing with a moving target. You might have noticed right there that my picking motion is coming more from this movement of my thumb and first finger like this. I can still strike a note with a downstroke when I do that and not move my hand up and down. That means my middle finger is staying put, which means it's going to be really easy to hit that string that I'm looking for over and over again with a lot of accuracy. So if you're having trouble with your picking accuracy whenever you're hybrid picking, try making those pick motions come from a different source than the wrist. I recommend saving all that wrist movement for your stepmom or stepdad. So there you go, guys, another sick lick that's going to get you chicks and earn the respect of your stepdad. And once again, that one was by request from a member of my Patreon community. I recommend you guys sign up today and start reaping the benefits. There's tons of backing tracks, bonus lessons, downloadable tabs, and so much more waiting for you over there. This week, everybody who supports the channel, even at that $1 a month level, is going to get access to the tabs, the practice tracks that I made at a variety of different tempos, and the MIDI files so you can build your own perfect practice session. So don't delay. Sign up today. All the cool kids are doing it. You're a cool kid. I know you are. Thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to give it a like on your way out the door and subscribe to the channel. Also be sure to ring the bell down there for notifications every time I upload a new slice of fried gold. And also be sure to tag me in a video of yourself shredding through this lick over on Instagram at Ben Eller Guitars. Well guys, it's been fun as always, but now it's time for me to get away from here and get back to work on coming up with some great shreddy licks for you guys to practice on. As for you all, I recommend getting away from the computer machine and going to play some guitar. Let's click it. More picking.